Hello? Hello, Dad? Yeah, Dad, I don't know where it is. Okay, stop calling me up and asking me where it is. I have no idea, okay? Maybe you left it in one of those clubs or something, you know? I have no idea. I say stop, okay? So stop asking, okay? Bye, bye. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 27. My name's Bill. I never introduced myself before. I thought it was about time. Look, I'm not a big stat person, but I had a look at the retention rate on the graph, and my last episode did pretty well. So thank you, everyone who watched that. And I noticed the retention went down slightly every time my face appeared on camera. I have no idea why. I thought about not showing my face. And then I thought, no, I've got to put it to the test. Consider this a test. I might pop up when you least expect it in the episode, and I'm just going to check that graph. So, don't be shocked. But anyway, I wanted to make something a bit orky. So I keep seeing videos of people making orky things, I guess because a new Games Workshop game is out or something, and it has orcs in it. But I do like orky stuff, and it suits the world I'm making, so I'm going to make like an ORKY tower. ORKY then. See you in a bit. So for today's build, I'm going to be using a lot of sticky things. Now I know your mind's going straight to dad jokes and you're thinking sticky things. Well, not today. Today I just mean things that are sticks. So, shame on you. So as well as sticks, I'm going to be using some hardboard. You Americans call it chipboard. For some reason, you always like to be different. So I don't really have a plan when it comes to this piece of terrain. I know it's going to be a tower of some kind. I wanted to create something, a bit taller. But that's about it. I made some holes with a hole punch, stuck some sticks through it. Yeah, it's just me testing it again. Yeah, we're good. We'll go back. So for metal poles, I'm going to be using these cake pop sticks. Now I saw someone use this in a video a little while ago, and I cannot remember who it was. But if it was you, please comment down below, and I'll just pretend not to see it. So I watched Scratch Bashing's latest video, and I saw he used a rasper. It's like a long tooth file like this that you can use to kind of rough up your surfaces. And I'm like, why don't I use that? Don't tell him I said that. So at this point in the build, you're probably going to want to check for scales. So I always take my little guy and stand him next to it. And it looks like a tower. So to get rid of all those horrible spider webs left over from the glue gun, I use a naked flame as opposed to a dressed flame. Funny enough, that's the name of my dad's drag act, dressed flame. I think he thinks it's clever. Some of you may have panicked there, thinking I was going to set fire to my build, but it's not true. You can burn everything a little bit. That's just a fact of life. You can burn everything a little bit. That's my next t-shirt. As per usual, I'm rambling about something that's not related to what you're seeing in front of you. So this is a little mini tower I built that I want to put on top of my big tower. It's kind of modular. You can move it around a bit, but let's not go crazy. Hello, this is test number 2, I guess. So to make this tower look even more unstable than it already does, I want to use this Christmas wire to kind of tie the corners and the edges. And don't ask me why it's called Christmas wire, I have no idea. That's what it said on the packet. I bought it in the pound shop near Christmas, and I think they just repackaged it as Christmas wire. I don't know, what decorated tree with it, I guess? I don't know. But you know, you probably could just use any kind of wire. It really doesn't have to be Christmas wire, is what I'm saying. I'll just, you know, leave it there. So I want this thing to look kind of like sheets of metal layered upon each other, like just, you know, holes would appear and they would just stick another sheet of metal down on top of it. That kind of thing, you know, that kind of ORKY thing. So to make the most unsafe tower a little bit safer, I wanted to add some safety rails around the edge, basically to stop people from falling off and to stop bullets from falling on people horizontally. You know what I mean? Stop people from getting shot. It's for a tabletop game, okay? Sorry to interrupt, everyone. This is the part where I talk about the sponsor. Yes, someone sponsored this episode, and it really helps out. So I don't want to hear any complaining. Is the sponsor. Skillshare is an online learning community where millions come together to take the next step in their creative journey, with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people on topics including illustration, design, photography, video, freelancing. So a course in particular that I liked was the low budget filmmaking. Now, you know, I like to make stuff, but I also like to make films about making stuff. You can always brush up with those filmmaking skills, especially on a low budget, with what sponsors are paying for videos these days. What I really liked about Skillshare was that I could watch the class uninterrupted. There were no adverts just jammed in there. It's always good to add a few more strings to your bow. I believe that's an expression. So the first 1,000 people that click on the link below get a free 1-month trial on Skillshare. So, you know, no harm, no foul. Go try it out. And that's it. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. So I already had this texture roller from Green Stuff World, and I needed some more, and I wasn't made of money, so I decided to print some off of my 3D printer. Now I got these STL files from my mini factory, and they actually make really good rollers. I'll leave a link down below. So using these 3 rollers, I'm going to make some foamy textures. Now bear with me, it's not quite as bad as it sounds. So using a heat gun, you can melt the foam a tiny bit and use a roller or anything that's textured, and the foam will retain the texture just like that. Hello again, it's just me again. So I made my own tool using an old paintbrush and the end of a super glue bottle, and I use it to make a little rivet indents in the foam. So usually at this part of the build I would get ready to prime the model, but because this is mainly foam and cardboard, I need it to be a bit more sturdy and a bit more reinforced, so I'm going to use some, I'll show you, yeah. So basically I took some Mod Podge and some brown paint, I mixed it together and I got some brown Podge, completely original idea. But this Mod Podge will kind of seal in the cardboard and the foam and make it a little bit more rigid and stiff. So I just said the word stiff and it wasn't followed directly by a dad joke, because, you know, I'm trying to be a little bit more mature. I'm trying to lay off the dad jokes a bit. I'm trying to, you know, I know some people might actually like their dad. You know, oh my God, look how brown those fingers are. And again, I could have said a dad joke just there. I didn't. So at this point in the build I remembered I needed a ladder, or 2 ladders, so I used some cake pop sticks and some coffee stirrers. So instead of neatly trimming my coffee stirrers, I just snapped them to shape because I wanted the rough edge. So I used the glue gun to stick it all together. Now I absolutely hate glue guns, I've said this before, but with this technique, you know, burning everything just a little bit, it kind of works out okay. So to finish it off, I used some Christmas wire, you know, Christmas wire, the wire you get at Christmas, that stuff, you know. And then I just painted it with the brown podge, trademark build making stuff. So it's time to paint. My worst, the worst part of a build for me. I hate painting, but I thought I just want to have a quick catch up with you. Most of you know I already have a son named Hugo. He's 3 years old, and I have a daughter coming in a couple of months, and I didn't know what to name her, so we had no ideas. I said, you know what, my patrons pay for me to exist, so I will let them name my daughter. So I put a poll on there, and yeah, in a couple of months I'm going to be the proud father of a daughter, Pinvice. Pinvice. I mean, they chose that. That's what it's going to be. So, Pinny, yeah, Pinny, Pin, Pinvice. Come here, Pinvice. I'll get used to it. Yours, you know, you get used to it. So I thought I would go pretty tame with this, you know, I'd start with a subtle brown, and then it's going to be rust. It's all going to be rusty. The whole thing's just going to be rust, you know, because, you know, rust. It's going to be rust. Did I ever show you my silicone mats? Look, I can just clean it like that. Sorry, I just thought I'd show you that. So this whole paint job is basically going to be layers and layers of dry brushing. So I use a bit of corrugated cardboard as my palette because it absorbs a lot of the paint and you know, leaves your brush drier than usual to dry. You know what I mean. So I dry brushed a little bit of silver here and there to break up that rusty colour. And I tried to avoid the wooden bits, the wooden planks holding up the thing. And I dry brushed those with a tan colour. Now I know I like rust, you know I like rust, but even I was thinking, you know, we need a little bit of colour in here. And so I started dabbing random colours in random places. And you know, I'm going to work it back. I'm going to do this and then kind of work into it to make them, you know, make the colour disappear a bit, not too much. But yeah, maybe I went a little bit crazy with the colour. I don't know. But I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back, don't worry. So at this point I was quite panicked. It was quite colourful, but nothing desaturates a model quite as much as a brown oil wash. This is white spirits mixed with oil paint. Now, as per usual, I try and be very neat with my oil wash. I stick it just in the crevices and then on the surfaces, and then on the between the crevices. I stick it everywhere, basically. I just soak the whole thing in oil wash and then dab away the excess with some tissue. So to finish it off, I want to use some of my homemade pigment powders. If you want to know how to make this, I'll put a link up here. Basically, just apply it in areas that you want it to be extra rusty, and then blow away the excess. And that's about that.
Yay.
So just before I show you the glamour shots, I just want to quickly thank my patrons. I couldn't do this without your patrons. There's some of the names there. There's some weird ones. Son of Targ, that's a weird name, isn't it? Tel, I guess that's short for like telly or telephone. A mongoose, there's a mongoose there. Sissy Bedwetter, you know, the classic. J Diggly Wiggly, that's a fun one to say. And here's the glamour shots. I hope you enjoyed this build. I enjoyed making it. I haven't made any terrain in quite a while. If you enjoyed it and you'd like me to make some more, please comment down below and tell me you'd like me to make more. You could, you know, just say, Bill, I would like you to make some more terrain like this. And if you don't want me to, you could comment saying, Bill, I hate your guts, you